What's happening, everyone? Hope you all having a good one so far. Wraith here with another Doom Eternal video, and this one is going to be an interesting one. A while back we heard something about the Unholy Crusade and the Doom Hunter reveal, and I've been itching to talk about it. In this video I'll be digging deeper into this topic and get to the bottom of what it all could entail. I also mentioned about this in my last video and thought about doing a video on it, so here we are. Before I get going, I always want to let you all know how much I appreciate the support on the channel and to remind everyone about the goal of reaching 10,000 subscribers by November 22nd. There's plenty of time between now and then, so we can definitely make it. If you're new here and like everything Doom and other similar games, be sure to subscribe and set up notifications to stay up to date with all the videos I upload. It's been a great year of Doom so far, so let's keep it going strong until Doom Eternal releases. Alright, let's get going. The Doomslayer has fought the forces of hell for a long time, and over the course of his onslaught, he would have come across many challenging foes who have had a decent chance at defeating him. One such enemy was the Doom Hunter, or rather the Argentina hunters from the Terror's Realm. Their sole purpose was to kill the Doomslayer and the Night Sentinels during the Unholy Crusade. This was all revealed in the recent reveal of the Doom Hunter, which has a demonic voice speaking who could possibly be Dave Grov, say that he chose this specific Argentina hunter to fight against the Doomslayer.
I thought you would appreciate the century I chose. The great Argonauan hunters from the Telos realm, though long thought to be extinct, created to hunt only the Slayer and his Night Sentinels during the Unholy Crusades. Some improvements on the design have been made. Enjoy what is undoubtedly my finest work.
The Argentina hunters would have been savage-looking demons in the natural form, but were pretty much extinct all thanks to the Doomslayer and the Night Sentinels. However, I'm sure a lot of Sentinels fell victim to these hulking beasts during their campaign against Hell. Other than that, the point of this video is to talk about what was the Unholy Crusade. The Hell Priest mentioned it in the reveals, so one big thing stuck out to me. Why would a Hell Priest, or at least someone evil, say that the crusade that the Doomslayer started was considered unholy? Before we attempt to answer that, let's back up a bit. The word crusade has a lot of meaning. The word comes from the Crusades that happened back in the medieval times where Europeans attempted to conquer the Holy Land from the Muslims. As a verb, it means to lead or take part in an energetic and organized campaign concerning a social, political, or religious issue. The Crusades were just that, a war against those who believed in something different and eventually turned more political. So what does that mean for the Doomslayer and the Night Sentinels? Did they actually start the fight against Hell, rather than Hell starting the fight with Argentina and eventually consuming the realm? In my opinion, I think the Argentinarians started the war with Hell. They received the gift of Argent power, most likely from heaven, and thought that they needed to wage war with Hell directly as the Dark Realm stood against everything they believed in. Once Argentina was given the power from godly beings, they would have felt not only unstoppable, but possibly ignorant. However, I think most of us would be on the side of Argentina. They had the power to fight Hell and had a good chance at eliminating the Dark Realm for good, a scenario of good versus evil. But to answer the other part, why was the Crusade considered unholy? The Crusades that happened in our history could be considered unholy in the present time, as many people died all for the sake of believing in something different. It's estimated that almost 2 million people, soldiers and civilians, died within the Crusades. A lot of people for something that didn't really need to happen. Now, the Crusades from our history are not the main focus of this video, but it would definitely support the whole reason why Argentina invaded Hell. With the power of Argentina, the elemental wraiths, and heaven backing them, they would have succeeded if it weren't for the betrayer. The Codex for the Wraiths mentioned that Hell found no success in overcoming the forces of Argentina, but the betrayer was their only way to beat them. There isn't really a place that mentions how long both sides were fighting each other, but I would say it had to have been a long time. If a dimension like Hell had trouble to overcome another dimension, then it goes to show that it wasn't an easy fight. Within the war, I'm sure a lot of unethical decisions were made and could have been one of the reasons it was considered unholy. A subscriber on the channel made a comment on the previous video where they mentioned that the Crusade could have been considered unholy based on the perspective of the Hell Priest. The UAC themselves worshipped Hell and considered them to be more holy than heaven, so would that mean that anything good in their eyes is considered unholy? That seems to be the case. Olivia Pierce herself mentioned many times throughout the campaign in Doom 2016 that submitting to Hell is the right thing to do. Because of her and others, the cults were established, and this kind of culture was normal among many employees of the UAC. Having the desire to die or migrate to Hell is something that shows that these people had the perspective that anything related to anything other than Hell was unholy. So that could be one big reason the Crusade was considered unholy, because those who are on the side of hell would think that they are right and anything good is wrong. Like I mentioned before, the people of Argentina fought against the forces of hell and attempted to wipe them out of existence. One thing though that is very interesting to me is, when does this picture take place? We see a big army of sentinels, dragons, ogre-looking creatures, and the Doomslayer standing in front of them all. His armor looks just like the Doom Eternal version, as you can see the studded gauntlets and sleeveless design, so it would seem that this event takes place either within the events of Doom Eternal or afterwards. If it is after the events of the fall of Argentina, then would that not mean that all the Night Sentinels were killed during the capture of the Wraiths? Maybe there's something we're all missing. This could be a new place to visit in Doom Eternal and is similar to Argentina. In the Slayer Testaments, the Slayer has gone between time and space, so it's very possible that he visited another place similar to Argentina and made a name for himself, hence the mark of the Slayer all over the place. In my opinion, I might be somewhat right on this. If you think about it, the places to visit in Doom Eternal that we know of so far are Earth, Hell, Heaven, Mars, Phobos, and Sentinel Prime. I wouldn't think that id Software would let us know everything months before the game even releases, so there's definitely some other places to visit. I'm pretty sure the Deimos moon base would be involved somehow, and of course somewhere else completely new. We still haven't scratched the surface of what the game will entail. If it will take approximately 20 hours to complete the game, then there is so much more to see. We still don't even know how the Crucible will work, or if they will even have a pistol to fill in the last space from the weapon wheel. All in all, there are so many things still out there to discover in Doom Eternal, so what we've seen so far is just the tip of the iceberg. Another thing that came to mind about the Unholy Crusade is the idea that the people of Argentina could have gone to another dimension other than Hell. This would go hand in hand with the previous idea I had about the Slayer's army being located in a different place. Think about it, the power of Argentina Energy is strong enough to rip open a portal or rift to another dimension. In Doom 2016, that happened a couple of times. Olivia Pierce opened another portal to Hell using the accumulator at the top of the Argent Tower. With that, she opened a permanent portal on Mars and could only be stopped on the other end, which of course the Doomslayer took care of. The Doomslayer also used an accumulator to open a rift to Hell when fighting the Cyber Demon. You'd have to give the UAC some credit though for what they've done with Argent Energy. They were able to stop an energy crisis and filter the energy for a somewhat safe use. In one of the codex entries for Argent Energy, the UAC were able to put enough energy to power an entire city block in a 24-volt battery with 12,000 megawatt hours. That is a lot of power in just a small amount of space. Now imagine how much energy the Argentinarians had access to. They had the use of 3 wraiths whom had an infinite amount of energy to source from, so it's possible that they could have gone to other dimensions and eventually came across Hell. On a side note, I really don't think that the first place they tried to go to was Hell, unless it was of course parallel with what happened with the UAC in the original Doom games. Argentina could have tried tampering with the energy and then opened up a portal directly to Hell, forcing them to fight the Dark Realm head on. I'm not too sure about that, but let me know what you'll think about that. With the power of Argent Energy, they could have actually visited Earth at an early age, maybe the same time around the Crusades. That could be why their armor is very similar to medieval armor, and their symbols look very close to what Christianity has. I could be going too far with this, so let's just leave it at that for now. The civilization of Argentina is a complete mystery, and hopefully in Doom Eternal we will be able to discover more of their secrets and history. We will for sure know more of the origin of the Doomslayer, so since he was with the Night Sentinels for a while, things will for sure start to come together and make more sense. What do you guys think about all of this? Do you think the Unholy Crusade was unholy because of what Hell thought of it, or what happened within it? Let me know in the comments section and let's see what we all come up with. You guys are all awesome and I really appreciate the support on the channel. The channel is really starting to go places and it wouldn't be where it is without you all. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe and share it all over the place. Doing that will help the channel out substantially and keep me motivated as well. Also be sure to check out my social media accounts to stay up to date with other things gaming related. Hope you all have a good one. Until next time, fellow Slayers, don't forget to rip and tear. Peace.